want to talk about a surprisingly simple way to get out of the rat race, the 9-to-5 grind, and into all the good stuff that everybody wants, including multiple streams of income. That's what I'm doing. I'm in London. I have not slept in like 18 hours, but I want to do this live stream just because there's actually 5 days left for some of you who were watching 2 days ago when I announced this 2.0 version of what I've been teaching people. So I'm going to give you a free version for those of you who aren't in the paid program. I'm just going to train you. Yeah, surprisingly simple. If I had known that I didn't have to go through 18 years of high school, junior high, elementary school, that I didn't have to go. I went to a little bit of college. I went to NC State for a couple quarters. If I could have known, I could have bypassed all that. I'm not saying you should drop out of high school or elementary school or even college. I'm just saying it was somewhat unimportant for my income production, how I make my money. And now I have, let's see, I can try to count up, but I would say right now I have a solid 15 streams of income. And if a recession comes, like 2008, 2001, 1929, you know, everything's up high. If you got one source of income, you're going to have zero. That's what people's bank accounts turn into, get their house repossessed. If right now you look at your bank account and it's more on this level, okay, it's because probably you got all your eggs in one basket. And people go to school for how long? This is you at like 6 years old, and the school gets harder and more intense. It costs more money. My friend got a PhD. He graduated when he was 32. So this is a hard way to learn how to create multiple streams of income, and believe it or not, you don't need to. You go to school for other things. You learn spelling. You learn some humanities. You learn so you don't sound like an idiot. You know, you learn the Civil War was 1861 to 1865. You learn stuff like that to help you, but when we're talking about money, the game of your financial success, and it's, look, all the guys at the top, most of them dropped out of school. If Harvard was so important, then how come the student who stayed at Harvard, Steve Ballmer, made less money than the student who left Harvard? I'm not saying Harvard's a bad school. Obviously, it's probably the #1 school in the world. And people learn a lot of stuff. And one of my mentors was a professor there, Dr. David Buss. But in the game, it's causation? No, it's correlation. There's something called causation, correlation. I'm not going to get too far into that because some of you don't understand what that means. But for those of you who do know, it's more correlated. It's not causative. So what's the simple way that doesn't take from age 6 to age 32? How do you get a PhD in money? They don't have that PhD anywhere. They have a PhD in finance. They have a PhD in business, but that's not the same as a PhD in money. And that's why a lot of people come out of school. I've hired PhDs, and some of them I'm like, are you brain dead? And that's why I tell them. I can tell you a surprisingly simple way to get out of the rat race, to get out of the 9-to-5 grind. Add this up if you want to be scared. Let's say you're, I don't know, well, let's just show from age 20, when you stop being a teenager, to age 60, 40 years. What will you spend your life doing most likely? Let's say you sleep 8 hours, just to say it. I mean, a lot of people don't sleep that much, but just divide it. So you sleep 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day is just like commuting, taking a shower, talking to your friends, family time. You know, there's a lot of downtime. If you start adding up your downtime, so you got that, and then you have 8 hours working, if you're lucky, because when you count the commute to work, and you count lunch breaks and all that, and most jobs require you to work like 9-10 hours. So basically, these hours when you're asleep don't count because you're not conscious really. I mean, you are, but not really. These hours are like, yes, there's most people only spend like 4 hours with their family and friends. So that means you're spending like 12 hours, the largest part of the next 20 years of your life. Even if you're 60 and watching this, people working, living longer than ever. So you got basically a curse or a blessing about to be upon you in this world. Don't forget that. These next 40 years of your life are either going to be a blessing or a curse, and for most people, they're a curse. 80% of people don't like their job, they don't like their boss, or they like their job, but their job doesn't make enough money, like artists, school teachers, things like this. So what if you could be a school teacher or an artist, but also have a side hustle that makes you enough money? I can teach you a surprisingly simple way. It's surprisingly... In fact, I can teach you more than one. Let's just go through a few of them. What's a surprisingly simple way? Well, look around your house. I'm here in a hotel in London right now. You look around. You go, okay, what do people have? Okay, I've got a coconut water. Start selling coconut water on an Amazon drop shipping type business that you do part-time. White label somebody else's coconut water. Or go to an existing coconut water company that doesn't sell online. Say, I'll sell on Amazon. Give me 10% of the net profit for doing that for you. Most people that own companies don't know how to do Amazon. They don't know how to do drop shipping. They don't know. So right there's a business. There's some guys that follow me. If you saw my Snapchat, I don't know, about 6 months ago, I was in Vegas. They designed a new kind of phone case. It's like a competitor with the Mophie charging, and I think they're doing $1 million or $2 million. I think they're
Lux.
What?
Lux.
Lux, it's called. Adrian remembers. I think one of them was 16 or 17.
He was young. He gave us one. It's a good case.
He gave us one.
Yeah.
Lux. So that's something right around you. Just start selling stuff right around you, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But if it doesn't work, just stop selling it and then sell something else. You don't have to hold that much inventory anymore. Everything you see, socks are a business. What are you wearing on your body right now? Underwear. A friend of mine, there's some VCs. I don't know if they started it, but they're the investors behind a company called MeUndies. They ship underwear in a box to people for $10 a month. Books are all around my house. So I launched, me and Alex, my business partner, we launched Mentor Box. I haven't looked at it today. Let's see if we're making... we sell either physical books or like a digital audio summary of the book. Household items. The day's just starting and we made $10,000 on 427 payments. We're averaging $868,000 a month. Right there, you can see it. That's Stripe. So it's a 1 year average. It's a 10-figure business. I didn't even know that. It's good to know. We made $11.2 million in the last 1 year. And we have some income that doesn't show here. That's not bad, right? Look, our income in the year before was 5.5, and hey, I got to tell Alex, we exactly doubled our income from 5.5 to $11 million. So guys, that's just selling books, stuff right around you. That's one way to make money. And I've trained people how to do that. One of my top students is a guy, I don't know where he's from. I mean, he's in America, but I don't know. I think he was from, I don't know if he was from Africa originally, and he's an immigrant to the United States. But he started selling, I'm not going to say what he sold because YouTube's lagging.
Mm.
It's on. Everything else is okay.
Oh, we might have to reset YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure it's not working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double checking on mine.
Just right now it says reconnect. Just let me do it.
Okay. Just kill it. Sorry. Damn, YouTube missed all the good stuff. See, you guys on Twitter and Instagram, you got it. So, what else is a surprisingly simple way to make money? What else is surprising? Somebody give me a comment right here. That's not in a language I can read. Helios, Doma.
Definitely on Wi-Fi.
Please write a book about mindset. See, there's another way to make income. Write your own book. I know a guy that wrote a simple book. I forget what it was on. Some sales or something he knew how to do from his last job. Do I need to do a
thumbnail?
All right, I got to do a little thumbnail. So
Clicking.
Oh, wait, I got to go back here. I got to go back here. Boom. Now you know this is live. Oh, that's more.
Yeah. Front page.
All right.
Clicking next.
What's up, everybody? All right, we're going live on YouTube. Back to where we were.
3, 2, click.
Hey, YouTube, you're late because YouTube cut out. I'm giving you surprisingly simple ways to get out of the rat race and into multiple streams of income. I was showing people the average rat race, man. Right now, people are on 40-year career that they hate, 12 hours, 2/3 of their waking life doing stuff they don't like. But nobody learns a PhD in money. They just spend 26 years in school if you get a PhD and you don't know how to make money. So we were just brainstorming, like, what could you sell right now to double your income or to create an extra $1,000? I'm going to show you on this call $1,000 to $10,000. Somebody said sell dope. Yeah, but you can sell dope, but my dad was a drug dealer. The problem is he ended up in prison when I was born. So you got to do the risk-return ratio, selling dope. Every one of them, El Chapo, everybody gets caught. You know what I'm saying? The real street hoodlums that actually made money was like Dr. Dre. He went mainstream. Sold Beats by Dre for $1 billion. See, simple household items that are around you. That's one way. I was showing people, here's a business. I haven't even looked at this that I own, Mentor Box. We ship books to people and book summaries. Last year we did $11.2 million shipping books. Doubled our revenue from the year before. I didn't even know that. What about food, somebody says? What do you think? Butcher Box did $30 million a year. Some guy started it by himself. He ships you a box of meat. I'm actually launching a business like that. It's different, but yeah, food's going to be massive. Blue Apron's a $1 billion company. So my question is to you, why are you so behind the curve? Why aren't you on what I call the Netflix forefront? Some dude just came up with Netflix. He's like, instead of going to a video store, we'll send the videos to you. I mean, how did the studios not think of that? How did Universal not think of that? How did MGM not think about it? How did you not think about it? How did your parents not think about it? Ask that. Another way, simple way. Income, to create multiple streams of income. Buy an old house, get a friend who knows construction, add a deck on it, add a pool on it, flip the damn thing. I was just at a house, my Hollywood Hills house. The guy bought it. Okay, the last buyer was in '97. He bought it for $100,000 in the Hollywood Hills. And back then, everybody's like, "That's too much money." Well, now the next door house next to that house is $12 million. Surprisingly simple. It's all about education and training. People say, "Oh, Todd, you don't need a mentor. Just go out and do it on your own." BS. Everything. You telling me to be a medical doctor, you need 12 years, but you think you're going to make money without a PhD and making money? BS. Show me the money. Show me the money. There's so many people that talk about making money. This is a business. This is a side hustle of mine. Some people go, "Is Ty a really good businessman, or is he just, is he full of crap and just knows how to drive Lamborghinis?" $11.2 million. I spend 15 minutes a month on this business. 15 minutes. Make 11 point. I have 70. We have 60. Last time I checked, 68,000 paying customers on recurring billing. I'm not saying I'm the best businessman in the world, but I got a PhD in making money. Now, there's people who got PhDs. I'm no Warren Buffett, but I know how to make money. When you can make 8 figures without paying attention to a business, you got a PhD in making money. What if I could train you to do that? And the sad truth is, you can train about anybody. But people hold themselves back because half the world's cynical. We can't train a cynical person. If somebody thinks they can't play basketball, don't train them. If they think, "Oh, I suck at soccer," don't even start. What's the point? They gave up before they started. Sell picture frames. Yes, there's a guy who came to one of my conferences in 2015, and he was making, I think he was making $700,000 or $1 million a year. He wasn't at 8 figures, but he was at 7 figures. He sold neon signs. He became the #1 source of online, I wish I remember the domain name, neon signs. I don't know why he picked neon signs. I wouldn't pick neon signs. It's a small market, but he was still able to pull 700 G's from it. I had Nicholas on 2 days ago, somebody I trained. 2 years ago, he's making $1,000 a month. Now he made $330,000 gross, $250,000 net. He's making 20 G's a month net. That's more than PhDs make. That's more than medical doctors make. And I'm still saying there should be medical doctors. I'm not saying everybody should quit and try to start online businesses, and there needs to be doctors and there need to be school teachers and all that. But why couldn't a school teacher have a side hustle so they could do what they love and help the world, but not be living, I got $3 left in my bank account. I got overdraft. Oh my God, $35. I remember living when those overdrafts were insane. I remember when I was right after I was sleeping on a couch, I started making a little bit of money. Like, it would overdraft. I'd have like $400 in it because I had multiple bank accounts, and I ran out of money. And if I had known this it wasn't surprisingly simple, 2007, because Amazon was just starting out. Facebook ads hardly existed. YouTube ads didn't exist. It wasn't there was Google AdWords, but it wasn't the game there is now. So you got to learn the game. And to get a PhD in making money, the shortest I've seen myself be able to train people is in 4 months. There's a few people that learn it in a month or two. And they don't have a full PhD, but in 4 months I've seen people start to rocket income up. I've seen it in 2 weeks. But that's so not common that I wouldn't count on it. I mean, you might be the exception to the rule. You can do it in 2 weeks. But this world is asleep. You begin to see what is actually going on in this world. Forget the news. Forget the media. Forget recession and forget Wall Street Journal. This is all written by journalists who know nothing about making money. Most of them. A few do. Most don't. Don't get your financial education. Don't get it from your parents if your parents don't know how to make money. I love my mom. I grew up with my mom. I don't ask my mom for financial advice. That's not her thing. I had to find surrogate parents to teach me about that. Joel Salatin, Alan Nation, John DeWar, Mike Steinbach. And the list has grown now, and so has my income every single year. So you double down on what works. And what really works is learning stuff. People know me for the phrase knowledge, and they don't even know how powerful that phrase is. It's funny. Some people laugh at that, like, oh, knowledge. And I'm like, bitch, knowledge put fucking $20 million in my bank account. What you talking about? What do you have? You might want to get some of that. This bank account right here, and we reinvest it all back in the business. You don't want to keep $20 million in your bank account. A little side note. In California, you'll pay 52% tax. So if you make $11 million, keep it rolling into the business. A little side note. Sometimes people are like, oh, you have Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Why do you lease them? So you can tax deduct them. So as everybody who's in the game of making money, who has a PhD and make money, understands. And all the fools out there and people on Reddit are like, oh, he leases his cars. I'm like, yeah. Smart people lease their cars. You know nothing about the tax code. Now, just because you lease a car doesn't always mean you can deduct it if you're using it for personal, but you got to know the game. You got to know the game. And some people do, and most people don't. It's like the Matrix. Some people are wrong. They're just asleep. There's little drones. And then they go, wait a sec, Ty. I have a drone life. Well, are you a drone? No, I don't like my drone life, Ty. I don't like this. I'm stressed out. Okay, well, you're a drone. Drones get a drone life. Try something new. No, I don't want to do something new. It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme. It sounds like a fraud. Okay, well, then be a drone. What else? What other choice do you have? You're going to make $3,000 a month for the rest of your year? You think you're going to save enough to achieve financial independence by the time that you're 50 or 60? No, if you make $3,000 a month, your taxes pull out $1,500 almost, or with insurance and all that stuff, you can't live on that. You can't even live on $5,000. In fact, Daniel Kahneman won a Nobel Prize. He said you got a minimum make like $6,000, $7,000 a month in most countries. So, PhD in money. Do you have it? Do you not? I've trained about 250,000 people since 2015 in the things that I know, and I brought in other people to teach. That's more, in 3 years, I'm putting more students through than UCLA down the road. I'm not saying I'm better than UCLA. I'm not a college. I'm just saying the raw numbers. I think UCLA is involved in this. They're sabotaging my live stream. They sent a ninja. Don't talk about us. But you get what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a new day coming for new people who are ready to embrace and be ahead of the curve while the rest of the people are 20 years. There's still people getting on. It's funny when I meet older people and they're like, I'm using Facebook to post. I'm like, Facebook? People don't post on Facebook that much anymore. I mean, I do it for ads, but it's been replaced by Instagram. Really, for anyone under 30 is using Instagram over Facebook. There's still opportunity in Facebook, but my point being, always be ahead of the curve. Google AdWords was a huge thing in 2001. I used to be able to spend $100 and make $1,600 back in sales. Well, Google AdWords is not new anymore, and you can't do that. The returns are not there. Money comes from being ahead of this curve. While everybody is here, you got to be way out here already. While everybody takes 16 years to get to this PhD level, you got to just go to it. Skip all this. Let other people learn, pre-algebra, and that's okay if you learn it. It's not the end of the world to learn. But while everybody's learning what a gerund is, how to conjugate sentences and all this, I'm like, oh my God. The only real way to get good at a language is to read, write, and speak it. That's it. To conjugate it is for morons. And my grandma was a professor of German, and she said the same thing. So, let everybody else conjugate verbs. Just let them go. And then you focus on the things that are going to benefit you for 30 years, and then those people are stuck in a drone life like a little drone bee and get to do the same thing, and they'll complain all the time, and you'll be over here, and you laugh all the way to the bank. At the end of the day, better to laugh all the way to the bank than to talk crap and have nothing to show for it. So what's some more practical things? What else could we do to make money? I told you sell simple household items. Easy. Don't sell them on eBay. Don't sell them on Craigslist. Don't resell. You can kind of do that. There's no big money in that. If you haven't noticed, not as many people use eBay anymore. More people use Amazon. When's the last time you were like, oh, I need something. Let me go over to eBay to get a pair of boxers. Let me go grab a phone case. Oh, I need a book. Let me see if someone has a used version. There is a place. There are some people making money on eBay. But you want to go to garage sales and buy stuff for $3 and sell for $6? Go ahead. You want to do volume scale stuff? Like I said, I taught this guy, I don't even remember his name now, but he went from $0 ever made. I think he's selling $700,000 a month in women's clothing online, and he's netting around 100 G's a month. Net 100 G's. Net. That guy woke up while everybody was asleep. Okay, so we said potential opportunity number one, household items, online. Okay, great. Some of you like that, some of you don't. That's a certain skill set and a certain interest. The other thing is get businesses to pay you for stuff. Get businesses to pay you for stuff. This is even better. There's 20 million businesses in the U.S. and probably triple that globally. So 60 million audience, that's 80 million. I feel like Ollie G when he did that thing with the ice cream glove. 80 million potential customers come in with something that nobody else really knows how to do it. Like most of these companies are advertising with TV. Show them how to advertise with Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Just how I'm reaching you right now. Charge them $1,000 to $10,000 a month on auto recurring payment so that while you take a vacation, the money still keeps coming in. You might still have to do work while you're on vacation. I'm on vacation in London. I still do stuff. But, cool. You got 1 to 10K a month at 80 million potential customers. You don't even need 1%. You don't even need 1/10 of 1%. You don't even need 1,000th of a 1% of that market. So all you got to learn there is how can you do Instagram, Facebook, and social media marketing for those companies. 2016, I rolled this out. I said, I'm going to take a small test group of people. I was in Palm Springs, October 2016. You can go back through the videos. I told people, I'm going to trade you guys in a PhD of money. It was hilarious. Half the world was excited, and half the world was like, oh, Ty's got a get-rich-quick scam. And I'm like, dude, now it's so mainstream that I don't even get that anymore. Like, we kind of invented a genre to take people from 0 to 6, 7 figures. First student, first week. Well, in the first week, one of the first students who got in October 2016, Jaden Gross. I got videos of him. You can go see him. He did 1.2 million his first year, netted $400,000. 21 years old. Second year or third year, now he told me he thinks he's going to do $6 million this year. He's expanded using his marketing agency into like 7 different businesses or 10 different businesses. He bought himself, he just showed me his new house in Denver. He bought like a 6,000 square foot house at 22 years old. Okay? The funny thing is, I remember telling people in 2016, I'm going to show you. And people just go, I don't believe it. Well, those are the people who only believe it after other people took the opportunity. Opportunities do not come all the time. It's kind of like a pretty girl. If she's pretty and she's attractive, and you just watch her every day, go to school or go by you at the coffee shop, and you never say hello to her, somebody else will. She's attractive. That's the definition of attractive, is people will do it. People will be attracted to that person. They will talk to her. They will marry her. They will, date her. And you'll be left like most dudes. They got their hands in their pockets like, oh, I should have said something. Same with making money. It's even more attractive to people. Not everybody's attracted to women. But there's very few people on earth that goes, I wouldn't like to have an extra $30,000 in my bank account. Jaden Gross in 2016, he said the reason I got to know his name is because in 2016, 1 month after he got in the program, 2019, he said, a doctor's office just handed me a check for $31,000, and I don't even know how to open a bank account. I had to show him how to open a bank account. That's a PhD of making money. I had to start at the grassroots, bachelor, undergrad. But I showed him, and now he's got more than one bank account. So you, again, where are you in the curve of adoption? Are you always the slow people? Most of you are. Sad to say. I'm not an optimist or a pessimist. I'm a realist. Honestly, most people are. Most people kick tires. Most people pretend. And most people are dominated by fear, anxiety, procrastination, worry, pride. They're worried what other people will say if it doesn't succeed. So they're just paralyzed, man. Never be paralyzed. Always be moving. Just keep moving. Move. Move, move. Momentum creates money. Here's a little principle. Somebody asked me to give a mindset tip. Here's a mindset tip for you. Momentum creates money. It just has to be that way. Now, not always. Sometimes your momentum takes you one step backward, but if you stay on the train, it goes 2 steps forward eventually, and only 1 step back. Who's got momentum right now? Let me read some of these comments. Ty, it would be a dream for me to join your class. Ali Mosen said. Ty, can you teach more e-commerce? Yeah, I've got a whole e-commerce program. We've been training people for 4 months. You missed it. We opened up the e-commerce and closed it about 2 weeks ago. So I hope you catch it the next time. Here's somebody who's got an agency called The Moments. Teach us how to do Amazon FBA. How would a 14-year-old get started? The beauty of online, nobody knows how old you are. Just remember, Bill Gates was 16 when he really started Microsoft, and he just changed his voice on the phone. He would call up people and be like, would you like to, and that's how he got started, under 18 years old. And by 30, he was basically the richest man in the world for the next 17 years straight. What's the best business out there to start if you don't have a lot of money to spend on? This one right here. The one I was saying. So, laws of money. Let's call it PhD of money. What are the PhD laws of money? Never stop. It's like a shark. If a shark stops moving, it stops breathing. Always move. Always move. You're like a shark out there in the game. I'm not saying you want to be dishonest people. I'm just using that animal because that's literally the story of a shark. If it stops, it has to have a current of water running through it, or it has to keep moving or it dies. That's how you got to see yourself. You are moving through the water. The water is the capitalistic economy that we live in, and we're probably going to live in, even if you hate capitalism and you love Bernie Sanders or whatever. Don't ever forget Bernie Sanders is a capitalist. He's a capitalist, trust me. He's a capitalist. He may not present it that way, but everybody's a capitalist. You know what capitalist means? It means you earn your own money. Who isn't a capitalist? China's the most they're communist, most capitalistic country in the world. It's actually an example of pure capitalism. They have no regulations. So Bernie Sanders is a capitalist. All of you who hate money because you were born in a first world country and you take it for granted, you're a capitalist. You don't earn your money. You just make your paycheck, and every month you just go out and go, woo! Throw it up in the air. Let us all contribute to society. Now, I'm not saying you want to be too capitalistic and ruthless and cutthroat and Gordon Gekko, but in the ocean we're all swimming in, momentum creates money, period. Joel Saltzman, my first mentor, used to say, Ty, do something even if it turns out to be not quite the right thing. Just do something. You don't know what to do, just start something. I've named 10 businesses, 10 sources of income right now. Start selling coconut water. Worst case, you lose $100. You're going to lose $100 anyway. Law of inflation, money's constantly losing value. The value, time value of money, and the cost of goods is going up. So you're going to lose $100 anyway. And the real truth about life is if you got an extra $100 sitting in your bank account, you're probably eventually going to spend it. Why not spend it on $50 on a Facebook ad? Just trying to test it. That's the answer. Momentum. All you paralyzed people, I hope you stop, because you are like that shark swimming through the water, and you're going to be floating dead in the morning. And that's what most people's bank account. Open. You want to know the truth? Here, let me tell you. Your bank account's your mirror. Nothing is more ruthless than the mirror. You ever wake up in the morning, you think you look a certain way? You got your shirt off, you go up to that mirror and you're like, wait a second. In the gym, when I was all pumped, I was sure I looked better. But that mirror tells no lies, unless you got one of those funny, circus mirrors or whatever, carnival mirrors. But a regular good mirror tells no lies. That's why people don't like to be on camera. Because you take a picture of them, they're like, oh, what's my best side? I'm like, there is no best side. That's you right there. We can turn your head. I like when girls do like, oh, I look better now. I'm like, you look basically the same. You ain't fooling anybody. Airbrush will fool, but at the end of the day, your bank account's your mirror. You want to know if you have a PhD in making money? Show me your bank account right now. Pull it up. Age adjusted. Here's the age adjusted numbers. If you are 18 to, let's say, 25, this is what your number is. If you're 25 or 26, let's say to 35. If you're 36 to 45. And if you're 45 plus, here's poor, average, badass. Okay? Poor is 0 or negative, below 0. Okay? Average, if you're 18 to 25, average is like you got $2,000 in your bank account or something. That's probably average. Badass is if you've got 25 G's in there. I'm impressed. You're 18 to 25, you saved up 25 grand. That's not bad. You're 26 to 35, okay, I'm going to say you're poor if you got 25K. That's poor. Average, in my book, this is just no exact number. I'm going to say 50K. Okay? Let me drop this down because we live in a world where people are not taught to save. I'll say 25K because a lot of people hardly have that. Badass, let's just say you got 150,000 saved. 36 to 45, everything that was badass here becomes basically poor here. I'm going to stick with my number. I think I was right. 50K. This always becomes poor in the net. If you're 36 to 145, you only got 150K. Something's wrong, my friend. 300,000 is average, or should be average. Should be average. And 1 million would be ideal. Okay, wouldn't you like to have 1 million from 36 to 45 by the time you're 36 to 45? When are you going to get the money? When are you going to have the Ferrari? When are you going to have the ability to travel? You're going to make your million at 93? The average millionaire is like 80 or something like that. because it took too long. If you're 45 plus, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to put a millions poor at 45 plus. Let's put 500K. And there's a fact. You can't retire on 500K in America. This is not going to happen. Do the math, run a Monte Carlo simulation. It won't, it's not guaranteed you're going to make it. You can be back at Walmart at 70. 500K, let's say average. I'm saying the average is what it should be, 1 million. And here, let's say 3 million would be badass, something like that. Where are you here? Who's badass? Not because you think you're badass, because that's called narcissism when you miscalibrate yourself and you go, oh, I'm badass because my mom always told me I'm badass. Well, I don't care about your mom. This is the real world, my friend. I don't care about your mom and that your mom told you you can be whatever you want to be, Johnny. Remember what Chris Rock said? He said he was at his kids' like 7th grade, like an orientation to class. There's 500 people there, and the principal got up and they said, each of you can be anything you want to be. Johnny, you could be anything. You could be an astronaut. You can be this. And Chris Rock said, I don't know. From where I was sitting, I saw a lot of future Uber drivers. Hey, Chris Rock was being a mirror. He was like, come on, let's be real now. Most people are sheep raising kids into being sheep. So when you raise sheep, when sheep raise sheep, you get sheep. When sheep raise sheep, you get sheep. You get Uber drivers. You get 45-year-old Uber drivers. You don't want to be driving Uber at 45. Unless it's, you temporarily hit hard times. You're using it as a means to the next way. I mean, unless you just really like it, I guess if you really just love long hours getting fat and having your body decay as you sit in a chair, so you can, sit and exhaust fumes. It should be done by like college kids getting their way through college or young entrepreneurs getting their side hustle going and they need to do it. That's what those jobs should be. You can't be whatever your mom said you can be. You can only be what you train for, my friend, and no entitlement in this game. The game of money is real, I promise you. It is a ruthless game, unfortunately. It does not care. A lot of people want the money that you want the money that you want. By the way, those of you on YouTube, if it's lagging, jump over to my Facebook or Instagram. I don't know what's up with YouTube right now, but maybe it's because I'm in London. So let's keep going through this, because how much time we got left on Instagram?
We have 20 minutes.
Oh, crap. Okay. I might have to reset Instagram. I want you to the third law is PhD of making money. Simple. These are all simple laws. Momentum. Bank account's a mirror. Age adjust where you're at. Okay? Age adjust. Look at yourself. If you're 45 and you got $50,000 saved up, you're doing bad. And what that means is use the mirror to identify. Remember, the mirror is your bank account. To identify your weaknesses. You got to identify your weakness. Maybe your weakness is you don't save. You make money, but it goes right out the door. Maybe your weakness is you don't have enough sources of income, so that when you got a sales job and when there's not many people buying in the winter time, you go broke, or things like that, or you're a waiter or a waitress and things like that. You rely on tips, but then when vacation season, I know people like that. They're like in Myrtle Beach, North Carolina, and they make all this money in the summer, but then in the winter they are broke. So you start looking like, what's my weakness? Do I not have multiple flows of income? Are they too sporadic? Am I locked into a payroll, into a W-2 income that is going to go up only 3% a year? Not even like, what's your weakness? Are you procrastinating? You already know how to make money, but you're just lazy and you just play video games all the time. Or you're fearful. You know what to do, but you're paralyzed. You must look in the mirror. Great bodybuilders look in the mirror. Arnold Schwarzenegger would stare in the mirror, not at his strengths, but at his weaknesses. He would look and go, my calves are not what they need to be. He would look at the proportions of his body. It's all about ratios. So you got to ask yourself, are you proportionally strong in your PhD of making money, in the game of making money? Or do you have a specific weakness? For those of you who are entrepreneurs, do you know how to hire people? Do you know how to select business partners? Do you know how to raise capital? For those of you who are not going to start your own business, do you know how to pick the right career? Do you know how to find the right company to work for? Do you know how to get equity and stock in the company? So if they sell the company, you get a piece of it. Are you skilled in managing people and leading people? Leadership is highly related to your income level. If you don't lead, you don't make money. It's just that game. If you're at the bottom of the totem pole, not leading anybody, you're going to make the bottom of the totem pole income. You got to lead. And some of you are introverts and some of you are extroverts. You got to lead. Leadership, that's another thing. I would just put that as in the game of making money. I'm not saying you need to be a charismatic leader, but I'm saying you have to be able to manage yourself and be self-disciplined and have a daily routine. All these things correlate with making money. Now, in addition to that, you have to have practical training. And this is where school went wrong. This is all mindset, but what's the practical training? You need to know how to go in and have the script and go up to a business owner and say, hey, I get pizza here every day. And I was looking at your Instagram, and you only post once a month, and you only have 400 followers. Like, Instagram's the future, Mr. Pizza business owner. I noticed you don't have an email form on your website so that when people go, you're not collecting their emails and sending them coupons and reminding them to come back. You have to have the skill to be able to say, I looked at your Google Analytics and your site loads too slow, or it doesn't load on an iPhone. And you know what? I can fix this all for you, bring you another 100 customers a day, and, 100 customers a month, that could be worth $10,000 a month, and I'll charge you $1,000 a month. And you need to know how to create the contract, what to get them to sign, how to collect the Visa or MasterCard. These are all practical training that you must have. They don't teach anything in school. They don't teach e-commerce in school. The curriculum was built around the time my grandma was born, 1918. We're using the same curriculum, basically. The textbooks have changed, but the curriculum hasn't. It's still reading, writing, arithmetic, social studies, gym class, and stuff. Everywhere, most advanced. Everything else in the world has changed. You have, medicine is radically transformed. If you get a bullet wound in war, they don't saw your arm off automatically. People used to get their arms sawed. I'm reading a Civil War book. They had stacks of arms. Literally, no. We can't figure out what's wrong with you. Just saw it off. Now medicine has, laparoscopic laser type surgery with robots. But school system, still the same curriculum my grandma had. What's up? There's Google now. You don't need to completely memorize what the capital of Bhutan is. You just don't. And people say, well, you need to memorize the capital of Bhutan to make you well-rounded. No, you don't want to make you well-rounded? Make a little side hustle, be trained on how to make money, and then take a trip to Bhutan. Who do you think knows more about Bhutan or Egypt? I knew a kid getting a degree in Egyptology, spending like $20,000 a year on a private school, Egyptology. I said, have you ever been to Egypt? No, not yet. We're going to go in our second year. I said, let me get this straight. You can buy a plane ticket to Egypt for under $1,000 now if you buy it ahead of time and you buy smart. So you could go there. You could live in Egypt for probably $500 a month, okay, with rent and maybe $1,000. So you could live there for a whole year in Egypt. You could walk the pyramids every day, meet tour guides, and you could learn. And you could actually have a job there that maybe would break even, so you wouldn't lose any money. Who do you think knows more about Egyptology? These kids sitting in class memorizing. Okay, King Tut was in BC 2400. I mean, you're like, what is up? How prehistoric is this world? So where's your practical training? Do you know? Let me just go through the things. Do you know? Just be honest. Do you know how to build and optimize funnels? Most people don't even know what that means. Do you know how to grow social media in a significant way? So you can take your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, and grow it to 10,000 this year, or 20,000. Do you know how to do that? Do you know simple accounting? Do you understand tax law? Do you understand legal? How to not get screwed over in contracts and people take your money? Do you know advanced banking techniques? What? Do you know how to form a company? How do you form an LLC? Do you do an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp? Do you do a LLP? You know, there's all, do you do offshore stuff? Nothing taught in school. Not even in college, basically. Not even, you know why it's not taught in college? Because if the professor doesn't know, you can't be taught. How many professors do you think are making $10 million a year? No, because they have to teach, which is fine. I like professors, but my point is, don't learn basketball from a professor. Okay, just don't. Don't. Don't be like, you know what, I really think I should get good at basketball. There's this 65-year-old fat professor who has a textbook on how to play basketball. Like, you're going to get smoked by a kid who just goes and learns from people in the streets how to play. Money is that way. Money is that. You do need some formal education, but you can learn that. I can teach you all that formal education in 4 months. Now, some people need a little longer because they're slow to learn. Some people maybe, but I can teach you the basic elements and the advanced ninja elements of making money in 4 months. I can't do it all on live stream, but I just wanted to create an appetite for you to go out and do it. And you'll find people. You don't need me. Some of you need me because you can't find people. Maybe you live in a place you don't know a lot of people. And I've been training people. You know, 10, 20, 30,000 people that come in a quarter, a semester, you could say. I have paid programs. This is a free program. I want to create awareness, people. So, I'm going to go. I want to answer a lot of question and answers. Maybe you have answers. You have questions on these things. You have questions on how to do social media and questions on how to get businesses to pay you or how to drop ship and sell things online. You see that I'm doing, $11 million worth of business I don't even pay attention to, literally. I set it up with other people to run it. And, we got Walmart as a client now. I spent exactly 1 minute on that process of acquiring Walmart we're in their HR training program. So, it's just astounds me that people don't see that online education, by the way, is going to replace colleges. Now, some colleges are going online, so they won't be replaced. Your grandchildren will not go to community college and drive down the road and listen to a professor. They will not. They will not. There might be a professor, like on virtual reality, on a headset while they're learning at home, and it probably is going to be the best professor in the world that can stream in to people all around the world, so you're not tied to one community college professor, because you got to ask yourself, why is this guy a community college professor? Why do I want to learn from them? I want to learn from the best professors, but the best professors, you got to go to Harvard, and Harvard's expensive. This phone needs to be charged.
Sir.
Oh no, that's not an important one. So before I forget, I was supposed to announce you got 5 days left. I've got the new version, the 2.0 version of my social media marketing 4-month certification training. 5 days left. I'm doing scholarships, so you don't have to pay the full price. Over 25,000 people paid the full price, but every once in a while, I roll out the scholarship version. And so this 2.0 version is better than anyone got since 2016. You have 5 days left. Is it 5 days? Maybe it's a little less.
7.
No. It's not.
Okay.
Nope. Ben said it was 7 when we said before. So let me put the link up just in case. Then I'm going to keep answering questions. You can also get the link in Instagram, YouTube. It's in the title or in the description or pinned on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I got a special link. Go to that link so you don't have to pay full price. Those are like secret links that we're just putting. Those are the ones, they're like the scholarship link. Those are the ones we'll take down in 5 days. They won't work anymore. And if you don't see the link anywhere, what is it again? It's like Ty. I forgot to spell my own name, huh? Maybe I should have gone for more reading, writing, and arithmetic.
TyLopez.com/SMMA2, the number 2, and live.
So you can just go here. TyLopez.com, my name, /SMMA. That stands for Social Media Marketing. The number 2, like 2.0, and it's a live stream. That's your coupon code right there. TyLopez.com/SMMA2 live. In less than 5 days, that coupon code will no longer work. You can try to use it. You can pay full price. But I know a lot of you are just scraping by. So, Frozen Brio Bowl says, is this happening in real time?
No.
You know how I know the world's sleeping? Because I can be live on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And people's main like a subset of the population's main preoccupation is like, hey Ty, are you live? Well, yes, I'm live. That's why they call it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram Live. But even if I wasn't, who cares? What's the big deal? Think if I learned something from somebody and they pre-record. When people send me messages with good advice, I don't go, is this being typed live to me right now on this email? Are your fingers moving on the keyboard? Because or else the information is no longer relevant to me. It only works if it's exactly live. Yes, it's live, but I don't know why the hell that matters. But as I said, the world is distracted and asleep, and common sense is just like, ding dong. Any other dumb questions? Nick Saban said, I lost 150 grand because of his toxic family. Hey, if your family doesn't know the game of money, don't learn from them. And like I said, I love my mom and my family. I didn't grow up with my dad because he was in prison, but so I didn't learn anything from my dad, good or bad. He was out. My mom took me away, but I don't ask my mom financial advice. I ask her other advice. I ask her, life advice, but don't ask your family if they haven't made 7 figures. Don't ask. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you want to learn how to make, here's another practical advice. If you want to learn how to make 6 figures, okay? If you want to learn how to make 200 grand a year, that'd be 15, 20,000 a month, okay? You got to learn from somebody doing roughly 10 times as much. Learn from somebody doing 2 million. You want to make $1 million a year? You got to be around people making 10 million. It's common sense. If you want to learn to play basketball, a lot of coaches are like NBA champions. Before the student was a coach, before the student wins a championship, he learned from somebody who played won a championship. That's how you learn. You go up. So a lot of you are learning how to make 100 grand from somebody who made 101 grand, and you can't figure out why it's not working. Hey, I have a mentor. They made $101,000, and they'll be able to teach me how to make 100,000. No, they won't. No. You want to learn to shoot a basketball? Learn from Steph Curry. He can hit 93 out of 100 shots. Do not learn from your next door neighbor that can hit 5 out of 10. Even though that's better than you, it won't be a good teacher. That's a good rule right there. A little practical nugget they should have taught you in school. That's why I said I have professors like Dr. David Buss. I learned lots of stuff from them. I learned evolutionary psychology, and I learned about status hierarchies, and I learned all these things. But I've never asked him, yo, Dr. David Buss, you think I should launch this business? He doesn't know. That's not his thing. He will admit that. So you have to go out into this other world, which is not inhabited in the hallowed halls of universities. It is sometimes. Sometimes there's a professor who was a successful business owner or moneymaker that went out and became a professor. That happens, but it's not very common. It's not. And the curriculum is against you, too. And the cost is against you. And you have to spend 4 years going in debt. And then you're 4 years behind, and it gets interest, and you can't discharge it with debt. One of the biggest sources of income for the U.S. government, net profit, if you look at the ratios of money collected to money kept by the government, college, income, interest on loans. It's insane. That's why they don't let you discharge it with bankruptcy, because the government wants money and the banks want money. It's projected between 1 and 3 trillion of U.S. debt is in college. That's nuts. Trillion, man, not 100 billion. You're talking $3,000 billion. That's 3 trillion. So you got to get out of that rat race. I told you simple ways to get out of the rat race. Somebody said, I'm surprised that some of the comments here are people not paying attention. No. I'm going to teach you another practical PhD in making money. Be excited when you're the only one on the live stream paying attention. If everybody did a social media marketing agency, if every person on this call, by the time the replay is gone, on Instagram 24 hours, about 50 to 100,000 people are going to see this live stream in 70 countries. If 50 to 100,000 people started selling on Amazon, it wouldn't work anymore. If 50 to 70,000 people started selling doing a social media marketing agency and getting businesses, there wouldn't be enough businesses. Eventually it would run out. Be excited. Be excited. Be excited. When people are annoying, your consolation is they won't be my competitor. Sometimes people go, Todd, do you get bothered when you see people talking crap? I'm like, no, that's that many less people who know nothing about making money that I have to compete with. Warren Buffett, the second richest man in the world, said when he started making money in his early 20s, he said he thought he'd go into the world and it would just be full of talented money makers. And he would be up against this huge wall of geniuses making money, and there'd be all these finance people and this and people with PhDs. And then he said he just went out in the world and he started thinking something's wrong. He's like, wait, I just made $1 million. It can't be this easy, right? And he's like looking around, and then he made another $1 million, and then he made $100 million, then he made $1 billion. He's like, wait, where's all the other people doing this? And as my second mentor, Alan Nation, said, no, they're scared. They're scared. So Warren Buffett just keeps like stepping one. He's kind of like the guy going into like a dark, haunted house, and there's a treasure at the end of the house, but it's haunted to most people. It's not really haunted, it's fake. It's just a legend. And so he goes in, and at first there's like 3 people with him. And he goes 20 feet, and there's like 2 people with him. And then he finally gets to the gold, and he turns around, and he's like, okay, I got to split it with people. And he's like, wait a second, who am I going to split this with? That's how I thought. When I grew up in a family, my mom made $20,000 a year, maximum. I don't even think she made that much as a single mom. My grandma kept, if it wasn't for my grandma, and my grandma wasn't a billionaire or anything like that, but my grandma was a saver. She was German. If it wasn't for my grandma, we would have been basically home. I would have lived in shelters growing up. But my grandma kept us at least lower middle class or upper lower class, whatever you want. Which one? I don't know. But I go out and I'm 18 and I'm like, oh, it's going to be really hard to make money. And then I find a mentor and I go, Joel, let's start this beef business, grass-fed beef. And it's profitable. He put $60,000 in. It was a little side business. I worked for him full time, and it made $20,000 profit, which to me was like, whoa. And then I launched another business, and I remember I launched a little consulting company teaching people how to buy real estate from overseas, buying raw land in America. And just somebody, I did 1 hour work, and a guy, Gary Townsend, wired me $10,000. This was when I was at NC State, broke. And I had to use a shared computer, and he wired me $10,000. I was like, wait a second, this can't be this easy. All my friends are working at like Starbucks making $10,000 a year. I just made it in 1 hour, and I was going, maybe there's something to this game of making money. You know? So, who's going to join that? Who wants to learn? I got 4 months of training. I'm going to explain more on what it is, how much does it cost. Go right here. It's going to be gone in 5 days. 5 days, and I do that on purpose because I want I'm not trying to make the maximum amount of money. I'm more like, who's ready to go? I don't like training people that aren't. There's a saying I live by: woe to the man who tries to teach people faster than they're ready to learn. Okay, what other stuff? Questions. Who's in? Oh, let me see if I'm getting my little alerts here. I forgot to turn my alerts on before. Who's getting in the group? We got it. Put it here. I used to get alerts when people got in. What is today's date? Damn it.
Is that 27?
I don't know. Maybe it's going in my
27.
All right, I'll have to look. Ask Ben to give me a list of people getting in.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I need to talk to my programmers.
Video chat.
What time is it in California right now?
So it's 8:30 here.
Hey, I'm not getting the real-time alerts when people get in the programs. I used to get them to my Zoho thing. All right. TyLopez.com/SMMA, the number 2 live. TyLopez.com, SMMA, 2 live, or just click the link that's on there. I'm going to keep answering questions for like another 20 minutes.
5 seconds. IG.
5 seconds. We're going to reset Instagram.